Hello everyone and welcome to Sinful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the Grey. Today's video, we're going to take a look at the Chaos Legionnaires. Now, this is a Warcry update that came out a little while ago in White Dwarf issue 481. It's the one with the War Chanter, the Auric Shaman on the front there, big blue book issue. And so we're going to go through this all, take a look at the new quests, the new perfidious treasures, the new heroic traits, and the new territories that are given to the Chaos Legionnaires to enable them to play a fully fleshed out campaign in Age of Sigmar Warcry. So with that said, let's get cracking on into it. I know this one is a little bit behind. Just started doing some of the more recent ones like the Idenef Deepkin and the Gloomspite Gits, and so we're going to catch up on the ones we haven't done, and then we'll start to look to keep up with all of these in the future. And so here we have our first new quest for the Chaos Legionnaires. Now, this one is called the Dark Master's Due. This is pretty much the artifact gathering quest that we've come to see. It's pretty standard in these updates. You pick an artifact of power, but this is from the Perfidious Treasures table, which we'll talk about in just a second. It's a special table that's inside this White Dwarf. And you note on quest log, you can't pick one that's already been handed out and already borne by a fighter from your warband. While embarked upon this quest, you keep track of your progress, represented by a progress score, and you add one to your progress score at the initiative phase each time one of the following is true. You either win the roll-off to determine initiative, or you seize the initiative by spending one or more of your wild dice. You also add one to your progress score if you win the battle. While your progress score is 5 or more, you can complete the quest, and you obtain the artifact of power that was noted on your quest log. Now, the Perfidious Treasures. There's a few of these, and some of them are pretty nice. So first of all, we have the Lorica Sinistrum. The barrack is not visible to enemy fighters more than 12 inch away from them. This is okay. Now, I do like this for this particular warband. It definitely has more use because you don't have a lot of shooting. In fact, I don't think you have any shooting in this warband at all, if I'm pretty sure I'm remembering correct. But 12 inch is pretty far in Warcry. That's, almost half the board. 15 inch being half the table. That's 3/4 along the sort of, battle line drawn sort of level. So it's really not that far. So it definitely can help you getting one shot by maybe and getting, first turn shot. But it really isn't that far at all. And for that reason, I don't think it's particularly good. Fiendish Gladius, hit rolls of 3 to 5 for the bearer's melee attack actions will always score a hit. This is just amazing. Like, making, 3 to 5s always hit is amazing. And the reason it says 3 to 5s here, for those maybe not as in the know in Warcry, is that 6s are referred to as critical hits. If you change that to 3 to 5, 3 to 6, it means you wouldn't actually get criticals. So 3 to 5 are your regular hits, and then 6s are still crits. The Coin Malefic, when the bearer is on the battlefield, each time an enemy fighter uses an ability, you roll a dice. On a 6, you gain an additional wild dice at the start of next turn. It's okay. Like, this is definitely one of the ones I'd start picking later on the list. I think Fiendish Gladius definitely gets picked before this, but this definitely gets picked, maybe as your third or fourth choice. This is a nice little additional artifact there to have. Now we then have the Prism of Torment. Once per battle, the bearer can use this artifact as a bonus action. If they do so, they pick a visible enemy fighter within an inch of a terrain feature and roll 3 dice. If it's equal to or less than the enemy fighter's wounds, allocate 6 damage points to that fighter. This is pretty good for like opening sort of gambit stuff. 6 damage points straight off an enemy fighter is nice. You'd probably be wanting to use this when you're not having the initiative, when you're going second, making your opponent move near something. Warcry's got plenty of terrain, so it's pretty easy, and you can pick a model that has 18 or more wounds, and you're going to do that 6 damage to them. Mask of False Ascension, I think, is one of my other favourite ones. The bearer can use the Inspiring Presence ability as if they had the hero rune mark. Solid all round. And then the Mordecai Mirror effectively allows you at the start of the game, or even during the game technically, once per battle, if the bearer has not made an attack action in the battle, the bearer can use this artifact as a bonus action. If they do so, you pick another friendly fighter on the battlefield that has not made an attack action in the battle and does not have the activation token, and switch the positions of these 2 fighters. If you can't place the bases, then you can't do this. You need to actually be able to place both models where they're going to switch to. This is pretty cool. I think this definitely has some use. This is much harder to make work, but it definitely gives you some redeploy setup ability. For me, I think there are 2 that I would be going for straight away in the Fiendish Gladius and the Mask of False Ascension. Coin Malefic and the Mordecai Mirror and Prism of Torments are all sort of optional ones that would be taking the next you know, the next ones. I don't think I'd be taking a Longerica Sinistrum unless we're playing, you know, like multiplayer games, you're playing big multiplayer campaign and you've got those bigger board sizes. I don't think it's worth it at all. And moving on, we then have our next new quest, Preaching the Creed. This is our one that's going to give us a heroic trait. So we pick a Decuriarch in our warband that can gain a heroic trait, and note this down in our quest log. If you want to know which ones are available to do so, you can see page 104 of the core rulebook to find out how fighters can gain such heroic traits. Now, while embarked upon this quest, you need to keep track of the converts your warband makes, represented by a convert score. You add 1 to your convert score each time you score 6 or more glory after a battle, or you spend 3 or more glory to add a fighter to your warband. Once you have a convert score of 5 or more, you can complete the quest, and you give the Decuriarch that you've chosen one of the heroic traits from the Chaos Legionnaires heroic traits table. Now, these heroic traits, there are some decent ones. First of all, Shade Form. When the fighter is targeting an attack action, treat each critical hit after the first from that attack action as a hit instead. This is just awesome. Can only be taking 1 hit. Decuriarchs are pretty tough as it is. They've got good defense. They've got a good solid amount of wounds. This is really, really good on them. Vassal of Mordecai. Once per battle round, the fighter can make a counter reaction as if they'd spent 1 level of renown to do so. I really like this. Another cool ability. Merciless Opportunist. After this fighter's melee attack action, if at least 1 hit resulted in a critical hit or hit, allocate 4 damage points to the target. So pretty cool. If you can land something on your opponent, you're going to just do some damage. I really like this next one, Cautious and Conniving. Once per battle, after this fighter makes a wait action as the first action in their activation, do not give them a wait token. The fighter can be activated once more in the combat phase as if they had not been activated at all. This essentially is just a skip. This is really, really good. I think this is going to be underratedly good. Like, just being able to go, cool, I skip, essentially, is what you're doing. For a warband that is only 8 models, and as we're starting to see a lot more warbands come out with 8 models, a lot of the more recent ones, like the Claws of Karanak, and the Askurgan True Blades are 8 models strong. There's a lot less models in warbands, I feel, in the current season. We're starting to see, 8s and 9s, rather than like those 9s and 10s. It's starting to lower a little bit. So this could be really, really powerful. Legion Enforcer, add 1 to damage points allocated by each hit and critical hit from attack actions and melee. Solid, just putting +1 damage on your model. Like it a lot. And Branded by the Shadow Lord. In the Aftermath sequence, you can reroll one of the following: an injury roll, a renown roll, a roll when your fighter is sent forth, or a perish roll for a lesser artifact born by this fighter. All solid. For me, I think there's probably 3 in here that I like more than the rest. First of all would be Shade Form. I think that's super good. I like Cautious and Conniving a lot, and Legion Enforcer is just solid, good, like +1 damage on every hit you do, and critical hit. It's just solid to me. What do you think of all of these? I think there's not really any bad ones. Vassal of Mordecai is pretty cool as well. Branded by the Shadow Lord definitely isn't, one of the ones I would take straight up. And neither is Merciless Opportunist, but I think both of them could be, really useful. I'd take like Merciless Opportunist as something later, but yeah, there's definitely some really cool ones in this. And so our last quest, this is the one that gives us the new territory. Now, we have a quest called Making the Cut. While embarked upon the quest, you need to keep track of your head count score. You add 1 to your head count score for each time an enemy fighter with wounds characteristic of 10 or more is taken down by a friendly fighter's melee attack action. And while your head count score is 8 or more, you can fight using the Bleak Offerings quest battle plan. It's the battle plan inside the White Dwarf alongside all of this. If you do so and you win the battle in step 4 of the Aftermath sequence, you can complete the quest. And if you do so, then in step 5 of the Aftermath sequence, you can relocate your warband's encampment to a Marshal's War Camp and don't need to spend any glory to do so. New territory-wise, Marshal's War Camp, a points limit of 1150 and a reputation modifier of +3. Location bonus is really cool. First of all, when you relocate your encampment to this location, first thing you do is you get a Centurion Marshal to your warband roster. It doesn't cost any glory to do so. This is just awesome. Then you also get the standard bonus of add 1 to your renown rolls you make for fighters from your warband with the hero rune mark. All pretty solid. The Centurion Marshal is awesome, goes nicely along with all of these models, and is pretty darn powerful as well. But What do you think of the Chaos Legionnaires Age of Sigmar Warcry updates? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Well, that's the end of the video. We hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And also drop a comment down below letting us know what you enjoyed about the video. If you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our little community here at Sinful Gaming, we have a Discord server which is linked down in the video's description. Also linked down in the video's description are the best ways to help support the channel, either by Patreon, YouTube members, or by grabbing yourself some merch from either our Ko-fi or Teespring stores. All of those things are linked down in the video's description. As a special thank you to everyone who does support us via Patreon and YouTube members, we'd like to give you all a shout out. So thank you to our Patreons, Christian Weir, Soren, Kenny Lowe, Outer and Shot First, Andrew Bowen, The Rising 8, Pure Dynamic, Anthony B, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater, Benjamin Swallows, Red Martin, Iron Grinch, Nicholas Colomos, Colorblind Magic, Daniel Everington, and Andy C. And to our YouTube members, Green Roots Gaming, Ronya, Lock Lorick, The Johnny 84, David Ellsworth, Wolfric Nick, Broken Chef, Ariana Edwards, Revenar, Pink Nico Fire, Robin Mankiller, Monty Tabletop Terrain, John Castle, Davis Weir, James South, James Tillman, Dylan Areno, Gargamel 196, and Disco. Thank you all so much for your support, and special shout out to Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork for the channel, and to everyone who helps run the channel, whether that be on the Discord server as our mods, on our live stream mods, or the guys that come around and help provide the battle reports for you all to watch. Thank you all once again, everyone. Stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the Grey. Ciao for now.